We are La Force. We are Wisconsin.
The day has arrived. It's the final day of the regular season. Perhaps. Look at the long lines ready to file in Miller Park. A sellout crowd on this Sunday afternoon. It's the Tigers and the Brewers, the third and final game of this series, and a lot on the line here today. The playoff atmosphere has already arrived here in Milwaukee. Great to have you with us, everybody. Thanks for being there all year long. This is our last go-around. We'll be turning it over to the network folks at this point as long as the Brewers are in it. But this is going to be a big day. Could be a memorable day for the Milwaukee Brewers. They, of course, need to win today to put the pressure on the Chicago Cubs. And, Rock, there are so many scenarios in place right now. One of them is the Brewers win today, the Cubs lose, and the Brewers play Thursday as the NLDS representative.
Yeah, and that's certainly the one that the Brewers would prefer, because Craig Counsell needs to manage that bullpen. But it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what the Brewers, the Cubs, the Colorado Rockies, the Los Angeles Dodgers, a lot to be determined here as the season winds down. There could be a game 163 tomorrow if both the Brewers and Cubs either lose or win. We'll see what all shakes out. But the Brewers have put themselves in this position in large part due to Christian Yelich, who I got to believe has solidified that MVP award. The entire team has played some outstanding baseball throughout the month of September. They've won 11 of 12 series to end the season. It's been incredible to watch these guys play under a lot of the pressure that they've had to endure in the month of September here.
Yeah, how about we give Yelich the MVP, because he's got another task ahead of him. He's got a chance to win a triple crown. Unthinkable here just a month ago, but it is a possibility today, and we're going to break down the numbers for the MVP, Christian Yelich, who is on an historic tear in this second half and in this September. More coming up after this. Christian Yelich showing the Gold Glove form.
The first in franchise history, 2 cycles in a season.
He hit his way into MVP discussion, then it was MVP front runner, and now it's MVP. There is no doubt. Well, it's been one of the greatest second half performances by a player in Brewers franchise history, and today Christian Yelich has a chance to win a triple crown. It would be the first time since the 30s in the National League. Right now he's going to win the batting title. He is tied with Matt Carpenter in the home run race and 109 RBIs, just 2 back of Javier Baez. The Christian Yelich show continues. The Brewers popped the corks on Wednesday in St. Louis. Will they do it again today? It's 162. Brewers Tigers coming up next. From a dramatic home run to end the 26-year playoff drought, to a similar moment 3 years later to send the Brew Crew back to the postseason. This season, the Miller Park Magic has been in full effect, showcasing a batting title champion, an MVP, and a Triple Crown candidate. Now it's time for this ballpark to capture one more moment. It's game 162, a division title on the line. Now, let the games begin. Well, if your team's in a pennant race, it is one of the best days on the schedule. The final day of the season, and there is still so much to be determined. The Brewers in a first-place tie with the Chicago Cubs, 94 and 67, identical records. Cubs and Cardinals will also be playing today. All across baseball, every game starts around the 2 o'clock Central Time. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard, Craig Kashan will be on the update desk, and there is a lot to update here today. Great to have you with us. As Gio Gonzalez prepares to make the start today, let's bring in Sophia Minard, our Emmy-winning reporter. And Sophia, there is a lot to be determined and a lot of logistics to go through if you're the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, and that was the message from Craig Counsell before the game today. He said, look, we have reached the end of the regular season. We have made this a very interesting day, and they are expecting this to be a really fun day at Miller Park. But he also stressed this can't be the last game of the season. As you guys said, they've already clinched a postseason berth, so they are going to play and strategize with that in mind, that there is baseball ahead of them. Now, he said we need to be in the position to have our best possible depth and scenarios in play for the most important games. That's Tuesday. Today is not a must-win game, even though they would love to win the NL Central Division. So he said the game situation may make for some tough decisions here, but they're going to play this one out. They're hoping that Gio Gonzalez can give them as many outs as he can here.
Well, this would be a big day for Gonzalez to go vintage Gio Gonzalez and go deep into this game. We're ready to play ball. This crowd is hyped. And the first pitch is swung on off the glove of Aguilar, and that's going to leak out into the grass. And that is going to be a first pitch base hit by Jeimer Candelario. And the Tigers, who have twice taken 3-0 leads in this series, only to lose each game, have a man on to start this one.
Well, and you figure the Tigers going to be aggressive, swing early in the count with fastball. Best pitch for Gio Gonzalez has been changeup. It's been a good one for him.
See the rest of the Potawatomi batting order for the Tigers, with Jacoby Jones and Castellanos making up the top. Goodrum, who drove in the 3 runs yesterday, is the cleanup hitter. Well, if the Tigers are going to swing early in the count, that would only benefit Gonzalez if he can get the quick outs. Because if there was ever a day, and this is a team that has not counted on a starter to go deep at all, but if there was ever a day you need length out of a starting pitcher, it is today. Because the Brewers and their manager Craig Counsell, in addition to the rest of the managers, as that one's driven into center field and Kane is there to make the catch. Rock, I'm imagining these 4 managers today, the Rockies and Bud Black, Dave Roberts of the Dodgers, Joe Maddon of the Cubs, and Craig Counsell. This is a great day, but a nightmare scenario for them, right?
Yeah, particularly with their bullpens, right? I mean, Craig Counsell in particular has used his bullpen a lot. The starting rotation has not gone very deep. And a lot of times it's not because they haven't been effective. It's the fact that the Brewers have needed runs and they go to the bench. But a lot of those guys down in the pen, you got to give them some rest. They've been worked a lot. And as Sophia was talking about, you got to have one eyeball on Tuesday when you're managing the next 2 days.
Well, it is still highly probable that this will end up as a tiebreaker game on Monday tomorrow, which would be at Wrigley Field. And then the loser of that game, if it ends up in a tiebreaker, would play Tuesday, and then on you go. So as Craig Counsell pointed out, this is not an elimination game today. And until you have an elimination game, you run your bullpen as such. And the Brewers probably have a number of relievers down. Castellanos into center field. Kane going back and makes the catch. He had to hustle to get to that one. Castellanos has big pop. And that one got Low Kane's attention about halfway in the air. 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, that guy can swing the bat. Hey, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. Needs some length today. We talked about it. Gio Gonzalez. You'd like to see him go 5 or 6 at minimum right now. That bullpen needs some time. And how about getting a lead, get a nice lead, keep the big relievers out of the game today, have them ready for either tomorrow or Tuesday. That would be the MO today. Both of those things for Craig Counsell.
Now you figure Soria, Knebel, Jeremy Jeffress, Josh Hader, figure they are all down today. On the first pitch, a fly ball to right's going to fall. Nico Goodrum with a single. Yelich bobbled, but no advance by Candelario. And the young pesky Tigers coming out ambushing early.
Yep, and coming out to big leads. First 2 games, 3-0 both games. Brewers able to come back. But Gio has to get that changeup down in the strike zone. That was a changeup there. He left it upstairs.
Goodrum has an 8-game hit streak. That's how he'll finish the season. Tigers with a record of 64-97. It's been a rough year in Detroit, but they have a lot of players in their lineup today and what we've seen this week who are trying to leave an impact and a lasting impression as they go into the offseason. So this is a ball club that is going to play hard. They are going to scrap, even though we are in the final game of the season. Ron Gardenhire taking over this Tigers ball club this year, first of a 3-year contract that he signed. Longtime manager with the Minnesota Twins, and the record is not where they want to be, but they play hard, and that's a testament to the manager, the coaching staff, and these players. And
they've given the Brewers everything they can handle. These 2 games back-to-back, 6-5
victories for the Brewers against these guys. They've had to earn every out. A tough lineup, scrappy as you put it.
Mikey Matuk with 2 outs and 2 on. One ball, 1 strike. Gio Gonzalez delivers and misses high.
And Gio relies on that good changeup. Got to keep that pitch down. He's also got to keep the fastball upstairs, up around the letters at the top of the strike zone. Doesn't throw hard. 90 to 91. Mix in a curveball.
2 balls and a strike. Three and 1. Tigers scored 3 in the first inning on Friday night. They scored a run in the first inning last night and then 2 in the third. Had a 3-0 lead going into the bottom of the third. In each game, Christian Yelich has hit a key 2-run home run. There's a little grounder, going to be a tough play. Moustakas is overthrown. A first is in time. And the Brewers survive this first inning without giving up a run. The Tigers will certainly want to look at this on a bang play at first base. And Ron Gardenhire says play on. Strike up the band. First inning's over. Brewers coming to bat.
Special moment in this clubhouse, and it's because you guys decided to be a family. You decided to be a family. You decided to be connected. You decided to sacrifice for each other, and we just took the first step. We got another celebration this weekend. Yeah!
Does the skipper have a crystal ball? Because if there is a celebration this weekend, it is a Brewer win and a Cubs loss. And as they say, as Rock said, counting corks, it would be number 2. Potawatomi batting order. Same group of characters in there with Kane, Yelich, and Braun getting it started against Spencer Turnbull, a prospect right-hander for the Detroit Tigers. Lorenzo Cain checks in, batting .309 with 10 homers, 37 runs batted in. The home runs and the RBIs hardly tell the story of how impactful Lorenzo Cain has been. And as you see the numbers on Spencer Turnbull making just his 3rd start.
Yeah, split time really between AA and AAA down in the minor leagues. A .447 earned run average and 19 starts.
On the ground, the Cosma 4-out number 1.
And when he's on, you're going to get a lot of that. Ground balls. He's got a good sinker, a slider.
Well, here comes Christian Yelich, and listen to the hand he'll get at Miller Park. Yelich on one of the most historical runs at the plate of any Brewer player in franchise history here in the second half in his month of September alone. And the gaudy numbers of Christian Yelich: 324, 36 home runs, 109 RBIs. He actually has a realistic shot at a triple crown. We have not seen a triple crown in the National League since 1937. Ducky Medwick of the Gas House Gang Cardinals.
Yeah, 1937, huh?
Wow.
Incredible stuff. I mean, you talk about a second half, not just in Brewers history. There haven't been too many second halves in all of baseball that I can remember that have had the impact that he has had on his team in a very tough spot, trying to get into the postseason. Pressure every day.
He has secured the batting title. He's tied for the National League lead in home runs with Matt Carpenter, and he's 2 RBIs behind Javier Baez of the Cubs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yelich takes a ball. And by the way, if there is a game 163 tomorrow, a tiebreaker, you play with expanded rosters, the stats count. So wouldn't that be something for a Baez Yelich confrontation with a potential triple crown on the line? 2-2 to Yelich. It felt like a 2-horse race as we got into mid-September. Just to give you some perspective, Javier Baez hit his last home run on September 22nd against the White Sox. Since that time, Yelich has hit 5 home runs and driven in 16 runs. Since Baez's last home run.
Yeah, and big ones too. We're not talking about home runs with an 8-1 lead. Every time it seems like the Brewers need a big hit, need to get back in the game, it's Christian Yelich coming through. And that's the definition of an MVP.
Our great statistician Mike Faulkner giving perspective on just how impactful Yelich has been, because it's hard to put it into words what he's done. The numbers speak for themselves. 2-2 the count, and that one's inside, ball 3. Once again, Craig Counsell has Ryan Braun hitting 3rd, 2nd consecutive day. He's had Braun in the protect position behind Yelich, which is going to be a thing moving forward. Believe me, maybe not today against the Tigers, but it will in the postseason. Looks like the Tigers are pretty content to go right after Yelich.
And the league for the most part has. I mean, the Cardinals for a little bit, that one stretch where they were pitching around him. Yelich walked 5 times in a game against the Cardinals, but they've been attacking him, and he's been making them pay.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat to Yelich. Full count, Turnbull deals, and it is ball 4. Yelich is on again, pushing that on base percentage to 400.
Well, the only way you can have a month like he's had, a season like he's had, is being patient at the plate, and shows that again. 97 with some sink from Turnbull. This guy's got good stuff.
So now all eyes, Rock, fall on whoever is hitting after Christian Yelich, and today, for the 2nd consecutive game, it's Ryan Braun hitting 3rd.
Yeah, it might not just be today. It's going to be, you know, through the postseason. You got to wonder how many teams are going to actually want to go after Yelich. Of course, the Brewers had some pretty good hitters behind him.
Braun had one of his worst days at the plate of his career yesterday. Struck out 4 times. Only the 3rd time in his 12-year career that he has struck out 4 times in a game. Going into yesterday's game, Braun had hit 5 home runs in the last 4 games. Twice had multi-homer games, including Friday night. And his 2nd home run of the game on Friday proved to be a game winner in the 8th inning. And that home run on Friday, ironically enough, was on the 10th anniversary of one of his most famous home runs, a home run in the 8th inning against Bob Howery of the Cubs to give the Brewers the lead in the 8th. CC Sabathia finished off the game, and the rest is history for the Brewers.
swinging the bat as well right now as he has throughout the year. The off days that he was able to get with Craig Counsell giving him off days have paid off in September.
He's always been a clutch performer. When the Brewers have made it to the postseason in the Braun era, which is 2008 and 2011, he has delivered. And the 1-0 pitch is low. 2 balls, no strikes.
That's going to be an important pitch for the Brewers to lay off. I mean, that 2-seamer from Turnbull, he's got good movement on it. A lot of times it starts at the bottom of the strike zone, ends up dipping down. That's a ground ball pitch.
You might have noticed James McCann, the Tiger catcher, directing his pitcher to come to a stop on the mound. Otherwise, you run the risk of a balk. He was motioning, make sure you come to a stop, which he does. And Braun takes ball 3.
The patience that the Brewers have exhibited in the month of September. I mean, walks have been a huge part of their offense.
Ryan Braun rarely swings 3-0. If he was ever going to make an exception, it would be in a spot like this. But he doesn't do it very often. And he takes ball 4. Back-to-back walks. The Brewers get it cooking early. 2 on with Travis Shaw coming up, and a meeting at the mound. And Rick Anderson, the Tiger pitching coach, is on his way out to settle the young starter.
Yeah, and I think everybody realizes if he's not going to get that pitch and they're not going to swing at it, talking about the Brewers offense, could be a long day or a short day at that for Turnbull. He needs that pitch.
Travis Shaw has got the red gloves on. 2 on, 1 away. He is on the Powerball home run leaderboard. Travis has 31. Matched his 31 home runs from a year ago. Career best. Yelich leading the Brewers with 36. And then Jesus Aguilar with 34. Moustakas with a couple of home runs today could join the 30 homer club. Second straight year the Brewers have had 3 players hit 30 homers in a season. Brewers are tied for 3rd most home runs in franchise history with 216 homers this season. 2 on, 1 away for Shaw. And he spins one in for a strike.
And this could be a good matchup for Travis Shaw. Travis likes the ball down. He's a very good low ball hitter. And that's where Turnbull likes to work.
Turnbull got a lead out against Kane. Stepping into the fire of a pennant race here in Milwaukee. No balls and a strike. Goes to 2-1 now. You can't help but notice the scoreboard on the left field wall directly in sight of the Brewers first base dugout. Craig Kashan is on the update desk today, but the Cardinals are up 2-0 over the Chicago Cubs. 2-1 to Shaw, and a bouncing ball. Backhanded by Lugo. They get the out at second. Shaw beats it out at first. It'll be 1st and 3rd. Nice play by Lugo on the slow ground ball. And 2 men are out with runners at the corners for Aguilar.
And he got a lot of ground ball outs. His Turnbull, if he's able to get the ball in the strike zone. That's his game. He induces double play balls. He gets a lot of grounders. Averaged almost a strikeout, or a little over a strikeout per innings pitched down in the minor leagues.
So Jesus Aguilar gets the first shot at an RBI here with 2 outs. Jesus has been the top home run and RBI man for the Brewers most of the season until the surge by Yelich. Yelich has overtaken him in homers and RBIs. But the man who carried this Brewer ball club in the first half.
A lot of players have contributed in this run for the Brewers. Aguilar, the big gun in the first half. Of course, Yelich in the second half. But that's not just been the only story. These guys have been good, throughout. Everybody's contributed.
Yeah, a lot of weapons. Aguilar on the ground and unable to make the play. Cosma, and the Brewers are on the board first. That'll be an infield hit for Jesus Aguilar. 1-0 Milwaukee in the first inning.
Well, first time the Brewers have been able to take an early lead on the Tigers in this series. That's a good start. Another ground ball. This one off the glove of Cosma. And Christian Yelich scores yet another run. Not sure how to play anyway, even if he catches it. Once again, the base on balls has played a huge part of what the Brewers have done in September.
Well, the Brewers over the month of September averaging 4.4 walks per game. That's about on average a walk more compared to where they were in the first half. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're talking an average for all hitters, it's a significant number. 4.4 walks per game, adding 4 base runners, and the Brewers have hit a lot as well. So a stat to measure pitching efficiency is the whip stat, how many walks and hits a pitcher is giving up. Brewers are getting a lot of runners on base. There's a bouncing ball. That's still a base hit. Travis Shaw will turn and head home. He'll score. Mike Moustakas with an RBI single. 2-0 Brewers. And the Moose calls are out.
Once again, everybody chipping in. Mike Moustakas with a big hit. A hanging curveball right there. Just out of the reach of Goodrum. And Travis Shaw running on contact, able to score. A terrific start for the Crew. 2-0 lead, and they know the Cubs are losing.
2 walks, 2 hits. Back-to-back 2-out RBI singles from Aguilar and Moustakas. And here is Manny Pena now. Aguilar the runner at second. Moustakas at first. Pena right field, hit hard, but right at Castellanos to end the inning. That's a good start for Milwaukee. Brewers get 2 on the board. They lead as we head to the second. Tigers coming up.
Cardinals take the lead over the Cubs. Look at the error by Jason Hayward, always reliable. The Gold Glover out there. Tyler O'Neill able to score off that Patrick Wisdom signal. 2-0 right now. Cardinals lead the Cubs. It's 2-0 Brewers leading the Tigers. What a start to game 162 across baseball.
Well, I appreciate you being there today, Craig. It's going to be invaluable having Craig watching all these updates for us. And don't think these managers aren't watching these other games. It will directly affect how they manage these games here today. Gio Gonzalez staked to a 2-0 lead. Back to work in the second inning. Strike one on James McCann.
Craig Counsell would like nothing more than to win today, Cubs lose, and then take a few days off, get ready for the NLDS.
Quickly 0-2 on McCann.
I think everybody's feeling that way in Milwaukee, right?
Something.
Don't need a wild card game.
Now, a few years back, Major League Baseball went to this final Sunday. Everybody starts at the same time. It has just created incredible drama. If your teams are in it, it is such a cool way to finish the year.
Yeah, it makes it fair. Makes it fair. It does. You know, if you're on a West Coast team and you're trying to get into the postseason and get ahead of a team on the East Coast, I mean, you have a big advantage. At least you used to.
Well, Gio Gonzalez stranding 2 runners in the first inning, gave up an infield hit and then a single to right. Candelario and Goodrum with the base hits, but he got Mikey Matuk on a ground ball to end the inning. 2-2 to the big catcher McCann. In the National League West, the Dodgers and the Rockies also tied in the division. It is possible they could have a tiebreaker game tomorrow as well. There could be 2 tiebreaker games. If that is the case, the Brewers and Cubs would play at noon, and then it would be Rockies Dodgers from LA afterward. That game will be at Dodger Stadium. Head-to-head record determines the home field. And Cubs had the better head-to-head against the Brewers and the Dodgers over Colorado. Those teams, all 4 of these teams, know they're in it. The Braves are the ones sitting back resting on a division title, and they're hoping there are as many games as possible.
Right. The other thing that everybody was talking about, before the game today, they were expecting rain in Chicago. What if that game got postponed? I mean, what if it rained all day, all night? What do?
Close the roof.
Have them come in here, play a doubleheader.
Quick little bus ride. 3-2 to McCann. Line drive to right field, but Yelich is right there. One of the Tigers, they have had a ton of cheap hits off the end of the bad hits in this series, but they're lining out a lot here already.
Yes, they are. Hey, with the Crew heading to the postseason, it's a thrilling time to be a Brewers fan. You can get in all the next year's excitement by securing a season ticket plan. Learn more about what it means to join the Crew as a season seat holder. Visit brewers.com/ticket plans today.
1 man out, lead man gone here in the second. Here is Dawel Lugo. He's been hot. 5 for his last 11. Had his first major league home run Friday night, a game tying 2-run homer off Josh Hader. That was in the 8th inning. And then had his first triple of his major league career last night. Drove in a couple of runs.
Has not been easy on the Brewers. They've had to earn every out. These Tigers have come to Miller Park to play this weekend.
It's got to be energizing for them to have the final series of the regular season in an environment like this. They have not played in an environment like this for a while now. Been a rough season in Detroit, not turning out the numbers. They draw really well in Detroit, especially when they have a winning ball club. But that has not been the case the last few seasons. They're all on that top rail, and they are into this game as Gonzalez issues a walk.
That's the thing. I mean, big crowds here at Miller Park energize the Brewers and certainly energize the opponent as well. Especially an opponent that really has been out of it for quite some time.
Pete Kozma will hit, the 8th place hitter for the Tigers. Gonzalez back to the stretch.
And working ahead in the count, important for Gio Gonzalez. It's important for every pitcher, but particularly a guy that doesn't throw all that hard. You want these guys to have to chase when they're down in the count. That's when that changeup is so effective. Not so effective when he's working behind.
Well, there is pressure on all of these players, but there is no pressure like the kind of pressure Gio Gonzalez feels. Whoever is on that mound today for the Brewers is going to carry the greater burden, knowing the importance of this matchup. That's why they make the big bucks, though. There's a strike, little half swing anyway, and it's a ball and a strike on the former Cardinal, Pete Kozma. One ball, one strike. Runner at first, Lugo. Just can't get him to bite on the changeup. He's put a couple right there, but the Tigers are not chasing.
Now, what are you looking for when you're facing Gio Gonzalez? I mean, the book on Gio is changeup, and one after another, and try and fight off the fastball if you can when you have two strikes. When you're looking for a pitch, you're more apt to force a guy to throw it for a strike. There's a good fastball in the corner.
And that location will help.
Yeah.
Plant that seed in the mind of the hitter. That's an open door on that outside corner. Sam Holbrook is the crew chief. He's calling the balls and strikes.
Outside corner is good, but he's got to keep it down in the zone.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first. Gonzalez looking for the ground ball here. And Kozma takes it. Man. Just underneath the strike zone. 3-2 the count.
Tough pitch to take. Maybe looking change up. Got fastball just below the knees. I don't think Kozma was too sure what that was going to be. He was getting ready for a ring up.
Full count. Let's see if Lugo is on the run. Pena has a great arm. Stays put, and a ground ball right to Arcia. He'll glove it, step on it, throw it, double play. Inning over. 6-3 double play for Gio Gonzalez. Wipes out the 1-out walk, and the slick fielding Arcia made it look easy. Is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Hey, don't forget, single game tickets for the Bucks season upcoming are on sale now. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com/events for details.
Got the Packers up in Buffalo, or rather in Green Bay against Buffalo, 19-0. That game's in the fourth quarter. Brewers are up here 2-0. And the Cubs and the Cardinals are underway. St. Louis a 2-0 lead there at Wrigley Field. Great day to be a sports fan, huh? Thank you for watching. Thank you for being there with us all season long. It's been an honor for Rock and I and Sophia and our great crew here to be with you guys each and every day.
Yep, I hope everybody out there has enjoyed these games as much as we've enjoyed bringing them to you. It's been a great year.
Orlando Arcia will lead off for Milwaukee. 8th place hitter. Brewers sent 7 to the plate in the first inning. 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 walks. 2 out RBI singles by Jesus Aguilar and Mike Moustakas. Chopper to short. Cosma gets the big hop, and there's out number 1. Here comes Gio Gonzalez. What are you seeing from Gonzalez on the mound here in the early going, partner?
No, he's struggling with the changeup. You know, he got that double play on the fastball. Some good movement going away. It got his ground ball. Cosma tried to pull it right off the end of the bat, but he's going to have to get that changeup working. That's his pitch. That's the pitch that he's able to use to get outs early in counts. He's been throwing some that have been pretty close to the strike zone, but you know, the tires just aren't biting on him.
Up the middle, Cosma scoops it up, and there is out number 2. 2 6-3 ground outs to start this second inning. Here comes Lorenzo Cain, and he is in our BP Brighter Picture this afternoon. Opposite field hits. Lorenzo Cain has 61 this season. Only Eric Hosmer, the lefty and the former Royal of the San Diego Padres, with more. He and Jose Martinez. By the way, Jose Martinez of the Cardinals threw out Javi Baez at the plate as the Cubs are trying to score for the first time. You might remember Martinez threw out a runner in that series against the Brewers. He doesn't have any trouble throwing. He's got trouble catching.
Yeah. Once he has it, he's in good shape.
Yeah, he's fine.
But he can hit. Make no mistake about that.
Cain has worn out that right field corridor. We should call that the Cain corridor there between first and second base. He has a knack to serve a pitched ball into that triangle between first, second, and right field.
Yeah, waits back, and a lot of those have come with 2 strikes. Guys that hit the ball to right field are thinking that way just about all the time, are the ones that really don't strike out a whole lot. Guys that wait, guys that aren't trying to pull the baseball. And that's Lorenzo Cain. Has been a terrific table setter this year.
2 balls and a strike on Cain. Pulls that one foul.
A lot of guys, it's unusual that, you know, with Lorenzo Cain, how many times have we seen him like finish on his back leg, leaning back with that back leg? They call it a back leg swing. Typically, guys that do that are pull hitters.
Yeah,
but not him.
He is as unorthodox as it gets at the plate, but he gets it done. Finds a way. Had a hit yesterday, was 1 for 5. Pulled one down the line at third. Cain's been riding around that 400 mark for an on-base percentage pretty much all year. He slipped under at 396 after his last at bat, and he goes, and it's a strikeout
to end the inning. So Spencer Turnbull comes back in a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the third, 2-0 Brewers.
Early in this one, an RBI double. Dodgers with a 6-0 lead over the Giants in the third. They won yesterday 10-6. They're getting angry. That offense lasting 2 games in a row now. Early lead for them. St. Louis still leads the Cubs 2-0. That one still in the second inning, and the Rockies 2-0 over the Nationals. That one in the third, BA.
All right, appreciate it, Craig. Dodgers and Rockies battling out for that NL West division title. The Dodgers, if they win, would be their 6th straight. Could be NLDS against the Braves for the division winner, or the wild card game either here in Milwaukee or Chicago. So much to be determined yet.
Amazing, isn't it? After all these games, it comes down to the last day.
The pitcher Turnbull at the plate to start this inning. I mean, if you're from the Brewers perspective, things are a lot easier than, say, the Rockies or the Dodgers and the Cubs for that matter, because everything's going to happen 90 miles from each other.
Right.
You know, the tiebreaker game would be in Chicago, and then a wild card game would either be in Chicago or at Miller Park. A little different story for those two, the Rockies and the Dodgers. If that ends up in a tie, they got to go back to Los Angeles to play a tiebreaker game, and then here to the Midwest to play in the wild card game. Called strike 3. First strikeout for Gio Gonzalez, out number 1.
Well, he's been real good with that fastball. It's been a good pitch for him. He's been able to keep it down for the most part. Having good movement to right-handed batters going away from them. He's got to get that changeup going.
Now we go to the second time through the batting order. Tigers had some line drive outs first time through. 3 of them hit right on the nose, but right to outfielders. Jammer Candelario takes a ball down and in. Infield single his first time up. Left stranded at second base. The Brewers have won all 4 games that Gio Gonzalez has started. He's won 2 of those games. Beat the Reds at home, beat the Giants here at Miller Park.
And last time out at St. Louis, 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs. Brewers won that game 12-4. Has struggled against the Tigers in his career, 1-4 in 6 starts.
Had a lot of opportunities against Detroit when he was in the American League with the Oakland Athletics. First time he's faced the Tigers since 2013, back in his Oakland days. Well, he has been at the top of the mountain for a pitcher. He's been a 20-game winner, actually won 21 games. He's been an all-star. He's pitched in the postseason. And he's the guy the Brewers want to give the ball today. Moustakas cannot make a play. Moustakas has scuffled on a couple of ground balls here in the last 2 days. Normally as sure-handed as it gets.
And kind of got caught in between right there. Decided to go back on it, lay back on it. This hop right here gets him. And instead of charging it, he lays back on it, not able to keep it in the glove, and probably be an error on Moose.
It will be an E5. Had an error yesterday. So a man on with one out. Back in the stretch goes Gonzalez. Here is Jacoby Jones.
Say, Gio's got some bright colors working today.
He's got the LC Greenwood specials on his feet.
Did you see his glove? He has the chartreuse, the the bright green on there. And
where is Gio? Oh, he's right there. Hardly noticed him.
Those are sweet. Not everybody can pull that off.
It's tough. Yellow shoes.
Completely buying into his time with the Brewers.
Not exactly in the color pattern of the Washington Nationals. Yeah, every time he's pitched at home, the Brewers have worn these retro Friday uniforms. He loves them. That skips away from Pena on his way to second base, and he's going to be in there on a wild pitch.
Well, Manny usually is able to keep those pitches in front of him. I mean, he and Eric Kratz have been tremendous throughout the year. A changeup, normally one that Manny's going to be able to keep in front of him, but he lifted the glove up, scooted right between the legs.
Takes away a double play chance. Now the Tigers with a runner in scoring position. Jones hit a line drive out to center field his first time up. The 1-2. Came up in the Pirates system, did Jacoby Jones. Actually became a Tiger in a deal that sent Joakim Soria to Pittsburgh a few years back. Rangy center fielder. That one's in the dirt. Nice block that time by Pena.
Just can't get that off speed stuff to find the zone. I mean, the change up, the curve ball, it's starting to frustrate Gonzalez a little bit. No pitcher can get away with just a fastball, but I think it's even more difficult for a guy like Gonzalez, who throws only 90, 91 miles an hour. He's got to get those other pitches going.
Went from 1-2 to 3-2 with a wild pitch to put a runner at second base. Here's the payoff. Jones rolls over one foul. Start looking at this Tigers order. The one bat you can ill afford to have come up with men on base is on deck. Nicholas Castellanos.
He was the guy that struck out to end the game yesterday. Jeremy Jeffress made him look bad.
And he came within about a fraction of an inch of hitting a 3-run home run to right field. Yelich made a good catch on him against the wall. Pickoff play, close. Just back is Candelario.
And make sure you don't want to rush that throw too much. Easily back. Sometimes pitchers will start throwing that baseball before they spinned around, end up throwing it to center field.
Another 3-2 pitch. Got him to chase that time. The changeup gets the strikeout. A big one. Number 2 for
Gonzalez.
Yep, just got to keep throwing it. That's his bread and butter, out of the strike zone, and finally getting one of the Tigers to chase it. It was ball 4, but Jones way out in front, committed early.
That'll bring up Castellanos now. He hit a rocket to center field in the first inning. He sent Lorenzo Cain back to the warning track. Line drive. Castellanos with 23 homers, 89 runs batted in. Right now, Castellanos offensively sits in the top 10 in the American League in hits, multi-hit games, doubles, total bases, extra base hits, and batting average. He's hitting .299.
And 89 RBIs for a team that doesn't score a lot.
It is a carbon copy of J.D. Martinez at the plate, who was his mentor in his time in Detroit. The young hitter hitching his wagon to the likes of Cabrera and Victor Martinez and ultimately J.D. Martinez.
Is it getting better than that? I mean, if you don't nuzzle up to those guys and get into their heads, I mean, you're really not doing yourself much of a service. Talking hitting with those guys. Wow.
1 ball, 1 strike on Castellanos. Tigers stranded 2 in the first. They've got a runner at second with 2 outs here in the third. And a high fly ball right field. Yelich is there. Getting over. Gonzalez works around a 1-out error by Moustakas. And guess who's leading off? Christian Yelich will start it for the Brewers in the bottom of the third. Out front of Miller Park, and the number hangs in the rafters. You're not supposed to talk yet, Robin. You're supposed to let me build you up for this great introduction.
Well, I saw that thing out there in the front. I don't know.
You're pretty muscled up in that picture.
I only wish I really looked like that, you know. If I really looked like that, I might have really been a good player.
Artistic license, Robin. Artistic license.
I need to hurry up and die so that they say, wow, he was a big dude.
Great to have the Hall of Famer Robin Yount join us, and it couldn't be better timing with Christian Yelich leading off.
Yeah.
And before we go any further, I have to get your thoughts on Christian Yelich, what you've seen, what kind of player he is in your mind.
Well, I think everybody here in Milwaukee has seen that all year, probably more than I have, you know, in person certainly, but I've followed what he's done, and I'll tell you what, his timing's not bad either.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's a pretty good time to have a great year and then get hot at the end in a pennant race.
Good stuff. Just an amazing stretch. His second half, Robin, has been off the charts. It seems like And I think you were kind of that kind of player too. I mean, you did the same kind of things that Yelich is doing. Seems like every time the Brewers need a big hit, he steps to the plate and gets it done.
Well, I don't know if I did it with the regularity that he's doing it right now. If there's ever been an MVP year, this is certainly one that we get to watch, or you guys get to watch it day in and day out.
Very lucky.
Yeah. Certainly, when you start throwing out some of the names in Brewer history and the kind of production he is putting forward here, it doesn't come lightly that you throw names like Yount and Molitor and some of the greats, Braun, Fielder. This has been historic what he's done, and look at his numbers since the All-Star break. He is at the top of the class: homers, RBIs, on-base percentage, all of the major categories.
Well, you're putting him with names of just Brewers. This year he's having you could put him with names in history.
Yep, that's right.
That have had the kinds of year with down the stretch of a championship run.
Yeah, he's 2 RBIs away from a triple crown.
Yeah, how about when was it? Oh, I guess recently we had a triple crown. Cabrera.
2012.
Yeah. But before that, wasn't it Frank Robinson, like in the 60s or something?
Yeah. Well, and then in the National League, it was Ducky Medwick.
Well, I think
1937.
I think that was even before me.
I thought you played. I thought you played with Ducky.
Maybe his last year.
Yeah, Ducky.
Here is Ryan Braun here visiting with Robin Yount. I do want to bring this up here, and now Braun grounds to short for out number 2. So take us back here. It's risky with 2 outs. Okay, Christian Yelich has won. He's going to win a batting title. It's going to be the first in franchise history. You had a chance to win a batting title. You played in a game October 3rd, 1982. You had 3 hits. It was a must-win. Brewers beat the Orioles. I mean, you couldn't have had more pressure on that game. Willie Wilson sat out in Kansas City, didn't play, won the batting title. You came up a point short. But what do you remember about that final game in '82?
What I remember about that game is we beat Jim Palmer and the Orioles in a must-win game, and that's all that mattered in those, that day. That whole batting titles scenario I found out about later. As it's playing out, I have no clue what's going on and that Willie's not playing and all of this. But as it turned out, I got drilled. Back in those days, the game was pretty well in hand. But my last time up, Dennis Martinez drilled me, and I had a pretty good game. So, it was kind of sort of the game in those days. They weren't real happy that I had done that well that day. So here's how we're going to finish him off.
So you end the regular season by getting hit.
Yeah, he drilled me, and then I find out later that I ended up a point or 2, whatever it was, short. Had I got a hit that time up, I guess I would have gone ahead of Will.
That's what I love about the story, is that knowing you and knowing you all these years, that I'm sure that ranked somewhere on your mind, but nowhere near importance. And that game was so big, and you always performed clutch in the big games.
Well, I don't know about always, but I was fortunate enough to have a couple good games when it mattered. And in all honesty, that's the most satisfying.
Pulled it foul.
For a player in the biggest games to have a good game, that really feels good.
That self-deprecating thing only works for Bob Uecker. That doesn't work for Hall of Famers, Robin.
Yeah, you know what? Have you ever heard Ueck's broadcast? He is always the best in the biggest games.
He was. You're right. Yeah. You know what? That's a good point. Yeah, he does flip the script on that. Travis Shaw, hot one. Nice play by Goodrum. And that will retire the side. Can you stay another half inning?
If you'd like, I can stay here. We're doing pretty good right now.
Yeah. I could think of no better spot to sit than next to this guy, right?
Well,
absolutely.
Robin stays, and we carry on. We head to the 4th inning. 2-0 Brewers. More with the kid after this. of the Royals.
Yeah, Coop wasn't even close at 352.
He was 44 points short. Good luck. A distant second.
Yeah.
Robin missed it by a point. Visiting with Robin Yount here in the booth here as we watch Gio Gonzalez start the 4th inning. Nico Goodrum leads off for the Tigers.
You know, Robin, we're talking between innings about you know, you guys like yourself and Yelich, the way he's able to prepare. You know, the mental part of this game is the most difficult. I mean, all these guys have the ability, but the mental part of the game is something that not everybody can grasp and be consistent. How did you go about your daily routine to be able to perform at that level every single day?
Well, you end up, fortunately enough, I had 20 years to figure it out, you know, and what worked best for me, and you develop whatever that may be, and everybody's routine could be different, but you want it, whatever that routine is, you want to make sure that you can come as close to feeling the same when the game starts, whatever that may be, every day. So at least you know when the game starts, you're going to feel like this. The problem with baseball and playing day in and day out, 162 games, rarely are you going to feel great.
Right.
You know, you have to learn how to play when you don't feel right. And you don't feel good. But you still have to be able to do things to help your team win. And you don't always have to be a great player to help your team win games. You know, there's little things throughout the course of a game that if you do this and the other guy does that and you do this, you can end up winning the game without doing anything spectacular. And you learn that over time. And we were talking earlier, I think the biggest challenge for guys today is so many different starting times of games and developing a routine when every day it seems like every game starts at a different time. That would be a real challenge.
It used to be 7 o'clock and then 1 o'clock
on Sunday.
Right? Yeah.
Sunday 1 o'clock. We couldn't wait for those days to be over. You know that we had a saying about day games. The only good thing about a day game was when it was over. We loved playing night games. It was just what we did.
Second shifters.
Yeah, it was our routine, exactly.
The second shifters of Major League Baseball. The 3-1 is in there for a strike. Let me ask you about, I want to ask one more question about Christian Yelich, because very few have been in his shoes, but to hear chants of MVP, and there were 45,000 plus in here last night.
Yeah.
And I remember there's a fly ball to right field. Yelich on his way back. He's got it for the out. Nice catch. For out number 2. So I remember when Tim Duncan of the Spurs, when I was covering that team, was getting those MVP chants, and he was extremely uncomfortable performing with those chants with all of his, you know, his contemporaries on the floor with him. How about for you?
I understand completely, because what it does is it singles you out. You know, you're being singled out in a stadium in a team game, and it feels very uncomfortable. You feel as a team, right? And when they're strictly talking to you, it's an odd feeling.
You feel like you're minimizing everybody else.
Very good way to put it. Yeah, it's just I was, like you said about Tim Duncan, very uncomfortable to hear those chants. And like I say, I think it's because we're all in this together, guys. I don't want them giving me all the credit, because it's you know, the years that I had never would have happened if I didn't hit behind Paul Molitor. I had Paul Molitor in front of me, you know, for however many years Paulie was here. Without a guy like that in front of you, you're not ever going to be able to accomplish the stuff that I did. You know, so much of this requires other, you know, help from other players for you to put numbers up yourself.
Little broken bat flare. Back is Aguilar, backpedaling. The big man's got it to end the inning. Well, Robin, it's a pleasure, man. It is a pleasure to be with you, especially on this day.
Always great to be here. I'll just say real quick, this is the 3rd time I've been to a game 162 that meant something. Once as a player, once as a coach, both times in uniform, obviously. This in street clothes, just being a fan, is by far the hardest. I'm going to go try to steal a uniform and sit in the dugout.
Well, that's what you look best
because I don't like this up here.
The great Robin Yount, the Hall of Famer. It's been a pleasure to spend some time with you.
Thank you.
Still plenty of Yount jerseys in the ballpark. Milwaukee scoring 2 in the first inning. Gio Gonzalez has put up 4 zeros. He's only given up the 2 hits. Seems to have settled in and coming off a 3-up 3-down inning for the first time here today. Jesus Aguilar drove in a run on a 2-out infield hit in the first. Got the Brewers on the board.
You know, as if you think this day couldn't get any better. You see, have Robin you out in the booth for an inning.
What a pleasure, man.
Yeah, something else. That guy, he just brings out the best in everybody.
He lights up a room.
Yes, he does.
Still so energetic. That ball's hit on the barrel. It is deep. Castellanos back. Oh, it's gone. Just snuck over the wall. Jesus Aguilar makes it 3-0. Number 35 for Aguilar. A frozen rope to the opposite field.
Well, how many times have we seen that from Aguilar? Sinker down the middle. Pulls the hands in, shoots it to right.
The glare. He's been doing that a lot. When you hit 35 home runs, he has perfected that move.
I mean, really, he's really the only guy that can do that. I mean, the other guys might try, but you know, the look that he gives you. Amazing power.
He's having a big game in this final game of the regular season, potentially, at least on the schedule. Aguilar with 2 RBIs. That's a huge home run right there. Gives Gio Gonzalez and the Brewers a 3-0 lead. You can almost feel Craig Counsell in that dugout saying, put the pedal down.
Keep going. Get some runs.
Get some runs. It completely changes the pitching perspective. Little flare into shallow right. That is Lugo back in the grass. And Moustakas is out.
Check this out. I mean, talk about strength. Just nice, easy. Pulls the hands in, shoots it to right. A line drive bullet out of here. Powerball. Home run count for Aguilar, number 35. 3-0 Brewers. On a frozen rope.
I didn't think it had enough height to get out. But when you hit him as hard as he does, one of the few that can hit one to the opposite field on that kind of line and hit it out. Some serious force behind that ball, like a left-handed pull hitter, except he's going opposite field, which is, I get asked this all the time, the difference between opposite field versus pull. You're basically not into your full power swing because of how you hit it back in your stance. You're a hitting guy, you can explain it better, but you're not into your full extension swing when you go opposite field.
We talk about that with Robin. I'm talking about that with Ryan Braun all the time. The way he can wait back, get on top of that baseball, and get that spin where the ball doesn't really slice at all.
Pena grounds to third, bobbled briefly, but Candelario recovers for the out.
And the key to it is to get on top of the baseball, get that backspin. A lot of guys just kind of roll on it. Look at the way that he finishes high. He's got the backspin, and that's what keeps that ball straight, as opposed to slicing. If that ball slices, it's going to stay in play. Not many guys can do it. It's a special gift to be able to do that. Aguilar has it. Ryan Braun does it all the time. That line drive to right field with something on it.
2 outs. Here is Arcia.
A lot of times, you know, a right-handed batter, when you go to right field, you get under it a little bit, and you're hitting on top of the baseball, or I should say on the bottom of the baseball. You kind of flare it in the air. You got to wait back, top down and through, get that back spin, and that's how you get those line drives.
Here's the 0-1. Arcia half swing for strike 2. Tried to hold it up, could not. Arcia grounded to short his first time up. And he is down on strikes. A swing and a miss to end the inning. Jesus Aguilar delivers home run number 35, RBI number 106. Been a magical season for him, and he's given the Brewers a 3-0 lead.
Players receive autographs, attend executive panels, and more. For details, go to brewers.com/on-deck.
3-0 Brewers have the lead. We head to the 5th inning. Let's get an update from Craig Cashon on what's going on at Wrigley Field. What do you have, Craig?
Well, the Cubs were down 2-0. One of the better comeback teams in baseball. You know this. Zobrist at RBI triple to trim it to 2-1, and then he scores on a Jack Flaherty wild pitch. So all locked up 2-2, bottom of the 3rd at Wrigley right now as the Cubs have come back.
All right, thanks, Craig.
Yadier Molina plays just about every day, not playing today.
Yep. Could have used him right there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The guy who picks and blocks as well as anyone. Actually, just as Craig was wrapping up that report, the Cubs have taken the lead. 3-2 now, Cubs, in the rain and the mist at Wrigley Field. We're all dry here inside Miller Park. Dawel Lugo leans out on an off-speed pitch, and Aguilar is there to make the play for out number 1.
Starting to get more consistency with the off-speed is Gonzalez. He was battling for a while. First couple innings, and all of a sudden seems like he's found it. Another out on a changeup.
He had a hard time with that changeup in the first 2 innings. Seems to have found it, though. There was an error in the 3rd. Otherwise, Gio Gonzalez would be sitting on 10 in a row retired. He's retired 6 straight since the Moustakas error in the 3rd. Pete Kozma with 1 away. There's that changeup. Kozma out in front.
Just got to keep throwing it. And Manny Pena kept calling it. Gonzalez kept throwing it. Now it seems like he's got it.
Kozma, the 8th place hitter. 0-2 pitch is in the dirt. Now the Cardinals do have, talking about their lineup and who is not playing today, they do have Carpenter in their lineup. He's already had a double today. Martinez, their best hitter for average. DeYoung is a starter. That ball is hit hard into left center field, way back there, and it is going to be off the wall. Braun comes in behind Kane. That's going to be a 2-strike double for Pete Kozma.
They got that one up in the zone a little bit. Cosme with weight back. Hit it hard. Hasn't made too many mistakes lately. There's one right there. Fastball pretty much down the middle, and I think Gonzalez knew it right away. I think he feels fortunate that that stayed in the ballpark. Kay not able to get there, but good job to back up as Ryan Braun.
That hit 3/4 of the way up the wall. There's Spencer Turnbull, the Tiger pitcher. So this is a spot where the game changes a little bit. So if the Tigers are in a pennant race, there's no way they're going to have their pitcher hit in a situation like this. But because they are not, they're trying to get some length out of their pitcher to see what he has, give him a good start to finish the season. Then he does bat. So this is where there is a distinct advantage facing a team that does not have anything on the line.
Right. They got plenty on the bench.
It can work both ways too. I mean, a team can play free and easy, and there's no tension other than the regular tension of the competition. But as far as the season goes, then Turnbull bounces out for out number 2. So you take those when you can get them. And now 2 men are out, back to the top of the order, and Jeimer Candelario.
Yeah, I guess if the roles were reversed, I mean, no doubt if the Brewers were in the same situation, they would have gone to the bench.
Junior Guerra beginning to get loose. Gio Gonzalez spot is due up to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Candelario at the plate. 3rd time through the batting order, and a ground ball to short. And just like that, Gio Gonzalez is out of the 5th. He's got a shutout going through 5, a 3-hitter. And it's 3-0 Brewers.
Foundation proudly serves as a catalyst for good in the Wisconsin community, and Brewers fans in particular play a big part in supporting local children and their families. BCF thanks you for your ongoing support all season long. And before the game, I had a chance to catch up with a very proud general manager, David Stearns, who said that the way that this team has finished here in the month of September is what they've done all season long, which is show tremendous fight. And he pointed to a couple of big moments for him in the second half of the season that has allowed the Brewers to get into this position. He said, you think back on August 24th, the 15-inning game against the Pirates, it was a 7-6 win. He said it took a Jordan Lyles walk to load the bases for them to win that game. And then he also pointed to Christian Yelich's first cycle of the season against Cincinnati at the end of August. He said in the post-game speech that Yelich gave addressing the team just really impactful. And obviously Yelich's production, what he's done since then, leading to a lot of the team's success. So he said, really, you play all season long to have the chance to play for the division in this final game. And he said, we're going to enjoy it.
Well, it's a great sentiment, and he deserves a lot of credit, David Stearns. He and his team in the baseball operations department as assistant general manager.
It's a pretty quick rebuild, wasn't it? I mean, in all honesty.
Matt Arnold and David Stearns have been the architects of this rebuild, which they never called a rebuild.
How long did it last? What, a year and a half?
Eric Dames pinch hitting for Gio Gonzalez. So 5 innings out of Gonzalez. No runs, 3 hits. Capable arms in the bullpen. And it looks like Junior Guerra will be next. Brewers would love to see Thames get going here at the end of the season. He has found it very difficult in the pinch hitter's role. Although he did have a key triple in the St. Louis series. Part of that 3-game sweep. Scored the go-ahead run in that game last Monday, the first game of the series. Full count.
Well, he might not be getting a lot of base hits, but he does draw his walks, even coming off the bench.
3-2, and Thames strikes out. First out of the 5th inning.
I mean, you're not getting a lot of playing time. Those are the pitches that really give you problems. Those breaking pitches, you don't see many of those in batting practice. It's got to be frustrating for Thames.
Well, minus the Aguilar home run to start the 4th inning, Turnbull has pitched well. He has retired 11 out of 12. He's got big league stuff, no question about that. This is a guy the Tigers are very high on for next season. 3rd time through the batting order now. Lorenzo Cain with 1 away.
He's shown a pretty good breaking ball. He's been able to throw it around the plate, getting some swings. Got that cutter right there.
One ball, 1 strike on Cain, who is 0 for 2. Cain started the day 5th in the National League in hitting, with Yelich securing the first batting title in franchise history.
The leadership that Lorenzo Cain has provided has been invaluable, and everybody on this team to a man will tell you how important he's been. Not just what he does on the field, but what he does off.
Cain now 32 years of age. Didn't start playing baseball until he was 16. Competitively in high school. 5-year $80 million deal in late January. A swing and a miss. Down he goes on strikes. Back-to-back Ks for Turnbull. And 2 men are out for Christian Yelich. Well, Yelich stands in with 2 away. Still 2 RBIs short of the leader, Javier Baez. Yelich has walked and scored, and he has struck out. Has not had an at-bat with a man on base yet. 36 home runs, tied with Matt Carpenter. So he's got the Triple Crown category secured in the batting average. Still baseball to be played here with Carpenter and Yelich for the home run title. And he needs at least 2 RBIs. Baez does not have an RBI in the game against the Cardinals today.
There's such a difference between the two guys in the month of September. Yelich has been unbelievable. Baez, not so much. The consistency that we've seen out of Christian Yelich. We talked to Robin Yount about that. Not easy. The mental part of all this. Every single day, concentrating at the plate, in the field.
Two and one the count. Yelich takes a strike. 2-2.
That's a good curveball.
Gives you a lot to cover off that 96, 97 mile an hour fastball.
Backdoor that curveball twice to Christian in this at bat, catching the outside corner.
2-2, 3-0 Brewers as we play in the fifth. Yelich slaps it foul. Two and a swing and a miss. He struck him out with a slider that time. And a 3-up 3-down inning with 3 Ks. 4 consecutive strikeouts for Turnbull. Six calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Craig Kashan back with you here at Miller Park. Our game break going to Wrigley Field right now. A long third inning for Cardinal pitching. Jason Hayward, the RBI single. Chicago has scored 4 runs in the third. 4-2 right now. They were down 2-0 heading into that inning. And here's a look at the NL scoreboard. Dodgers big over the Giants, 14-0 in the Rockies, and Nationals 7-0 in that game. So Colorado and LA right now appear to be heading to game 163 tomorrow.
Yeah, and those big leads allow you not to have to use your A relievers. That's as big of a story as any, setting up for this potential game 163. You see the numbers on Junior Guerra. Has been a starter most of the year, only recently gone into the bullpen, and he'll try to pick up a few innings as he begins the 6th.
Yeah, Junior's made 4 scoreless appearances out of the bullpen. That covers 4 innings. He's allowed only 1 hit. He struck out 5 batters in that stretch. Last pitched on Monday in St. Louis.
One ball, 1 strike. Jacoby Jones leads off, and he fouls it back. 1-2 the count. Well, the Brewers in good shape, 3-0. They've made their 3 hits count.
Yeah, 3-0 leads have not been very good for the Tigers in this series. Brewers have one right now.
Well, the Tigers jumped out 3-0 in each of the first 2 games, and the Brewers won them both with comebacks. A swing and a miss. Pena will put the tag on him to secure it.
Yeah,
good way to start for Guerra.
Seems like Junior's found his split-fingered fastball working out of the bullpen. That pitch is much better right now than it was throughout the season. There were times when he barely threw any. And right now it's been a good pitch once again for him down in the zone. Saw Jones out in front of it.
Would you be more comfortable using a splitter in short stints as a reliever versus trying to go the long haul for a starter?
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, that was his bread and butter, right? I mean, that was his best pitch as a starter over the last couple of years for the Brewers, but he just couldn't find it. Wasn't real consistent with it. Starting games toward the end, actually. One thing when you're working out of the pen, situation like this, go as hard as you can for as long as you can. You don't really have to hold anything back like you do as a starter.
No balls, a strike on Castellanos. That one's in there. 0-2 the count. Junior Guerra's thrown 6 pitches, 5 of them for strikes to get this inning started. Good work by Gio Gonzalez. 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs. Pitched out of a couple of jams, had runners in scoring position on 3 occasions in those 5 innings, and was able to get through each. The 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Castellanos lays off this one. Guerra does have a nasty splitter. That's what helped him earn that opening day bid prior to last season, or for last season. Then he injured his calf on opening day, and it's been a bit of a struggle, but he got it back a little bit this year as a starter.
He threw well as a starter this year. He really did. Toward the end, he hit him around a little bit.
He could never really salvage his 2017 season. Actually ended up in AAA. A swing and a miss. He got him with a breaking ball. Went to the hook. Back-to-back strikeouts for Guerra. 2 gone.
Yeah, good crispness to his pitches right now. I mean, that was a good breaking pitch, exactly where you want it. Check it out with 2 strikes down out of the strike zone. So back-to-back strikeouts on pitches that were out of the zone.
Well, the Brewers have so much talent and depth in their bullpen. Guerra's one of those guys that as you get into a postseason scenario and you trim your roster back to a 25-man roster for the postseason, he's a very interesting piece in the bullpen because of his strikeout ability. He's good against lefties with that split finger, and he can give you some length. Can give you multiple innings.
Let's see how long he goes today. A couple innings maybe.
Well, the Brewers will do whatever they can today to get to the end of this game without using their top relievers. Soria, Knebel, Jeffress, all pitching in back-to-back games. Hader they'd like to avoid today as well. He pitched on Friday but has been pitching a lot. Corbin Burns, you figure, is unavailable today. 2 innings yesterday. That one's on the ground and through, a base hit. Nico Goodrum with his 2nd hit of the game found the hole between short and third.
Guy's been swinging the bat pretty well in this series. I mean, it looks good up at the plate. Switch hitter. Able to go right with that pitch. All quiet.
Mikey Matuk now with a runner at first. Tigers with 2 outs. And a strike from Guerra. Fastball has got good life on it too. 95-mile-an-hour heat from Junior.
And now you can you know, start messing around with the edges. Throw the splitter. Now you got the first pitch over for a strike. 96. Yeah, a lot to cover there. 96 down to 82.
82 the curveball. 1 ball 1 strike. Mata takes a ball low. Two outs in the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Guerra. And the 2-1 swing and a miss. Throw to first. Out at first. Tigers want to have a look at this. It looked like the tag was high on the shoulder. Goodrum is convinced he was safe.
Pretty good snap throw.
I think if he got him on the finger, he's out. The sweep tag by Aguilar right there. Did he get him on the finger or not?
It did. See, it looked like it snapped back a little bit.
It's Jim Wolf right there on the call.
Watch the finger move. Nope, it did get him on the finger.
Yeah, they will not challenge. How about that? Tigers get a runner picked off. Pena with a back pick. And it's still 3-0 Milwaukee. Matchup, final regular season series of the year. How about Manny Pena? Cuts another one down. One of the great throwing arms in the game. StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Yeah, from his knees, able to throw a bullet over to Aguilar. And Aguilar with a tag, kind of a blind tag. He kind of swiped the glove, and what he did was he went to the bag, and that's what you have to do.
Yeah, go get on one knee, try to throw opposite side, 76 miles an hour.
Well, why don't you stand up and get a running start, try to do that.
Manny Pena. So that cleans up the inning for Guerra. Matuk will lead off in the 7th. Here we are in the bottom of the 6th with Ryan Braun leading off. And a first pitch curve from Turnbull, who has really settled in this game. Tell you, that Aguilar home run is looking big right now.
I'll tell you, this guy can throw. I mean, he's got a good arm. The curveball's been a big pitch for him last couple innings.
That's 4 consecutive strikeouts. He has 6 strikeouts in the game. Ryan Braun walked in the first inning and grounded to short his next time up. Brewers are trying to keep adding on here. Just put the runs on the board. Win this game 162. Depending on what the Cubs do with the Cardinals, either go to Chicago to play a tiebreaker tomorrow for the division title, or win the NL Central here today if the Cardinals can come back. Craig Kashan's watching all the scores unfold.
Yeah, those 3 off days would look good, wouldn't they? Win the division right here and now. Of course, the Cubs are probably saying the same thing.
Both managers, in their own way, making the point that this is not an elimination game, and it won't be an elimination game tomorrow if it ends up in a tiebreaker. Tuesday will be. There's Braun with a base hit. A line drive single to start the 6th inning.
Well, second time the Brewers have had their leadoff hitter aboard. 4th inning, Aguilar hit a homer leading off the inning.
That is only the 2nd hit for Milwaukee since the 1st inning.
You see that fastball 94 miles an hour going down and in, and Braun able to go get it before it sinks too much and line it in the left.
That'll bring up Travis Shaw now. Travis Shaw is 0 for 2. He did reach on a fielder's choice in the 1st and then scored on a Moustakas RBI single. Brewers got 2 in the 1st inning with back-to-back 2-out RBI singles, Aguilar and Moustakas, and then Jesus with a home run in the 4th. He's due up next.
Ron Gardenhire's given Turnbull a long leash here. No activity in the pen. Leadoff base runner.
.82 pitches at this point as he works in the 6th inning. Travis Shaw, 31 homers, 85 runs batted in. He takes a ball. 2-1 now.
Brewers have really done a good job laying off that pitch today. I mean, that's a pitch you would think that Turnbull is going to get a lot of ground balls on. That fastball that's just below the knees. Brewers haven't been biting on that pitch too often.
He walked back-to-back hitters in the 1st inning, Yelich and Braun, and that helped set the inning up. 2-1, and Shaw swing and a miss.
A good cutter. This guy throwing a baseball as well as he has all season. Down in the minor leagues, he had an earned run average of 4.5. Nothing earth-shattering, but boy, he's got good stuff.
Give him something to think about on his way to the offseason. Getting a chance to pitch in the big leagues. Tigers are going young in this rebuild. They like a lot of their players. They were able to flip their organization with some key trades, namely one with the Diamondbacks last year, trading JD Martinez, who ended up putting together a monster 2nd half comparable to what Christian Yelich has done this 2nd half, and that helped Arizona into the postseason. They won the wild card game last year with JD Martinez and then lost to the Dodgers. But Detroit got some prospects in return, including Dawel Lugo. Full count to Shaw. Hard hit ball through, base hit. Braun's going to turn, and he's on his way to 3rd base. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Travis Shaw with his 1st hit of the game.
Well, low fastball just where Shaw likes it. A very good low ball hitter. Check it out. Down and in 95, and Shaw able to barrel it up. Rolled into center. Good job by Ryan Braun to able to get into third base.
Now the bullpen just started scurrying out there. Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, who made a first inning appearance, is on his way to the mound. Jesus Aguilar is coming up. Already driven in 2. He could deliver a knockout punch right here in this 6th inning.
Now just trying to give his bullpen time to get loose. Double barrel action down there. Right-hander and left-hander. They just started to throw.
Baez is the right-hander. Hardy the left-hander. But it'll be at least one more hitter for Spencer Turnbull. And he's got Jesus Aguilar. First and third, nobody out. Big chance to score here for Milwaukee. Aguilar now with 106 RBIs. One swing of the bat, he could get to 109, which is where Christian Yelich sits right now, second in the league. Javier Baez is the league leader in RBIs. He does not have a ribby today.
I'm taking a ground ball up the middle, score a run. Just you need runs. The Brewers will gladly trade 2 outs for a run here. Put the ball in play.
No balls and a strike. Jesus dropped in the lineup the last 2 days to 5th. His counsel builds his lineup right, left, and all the way down. Flip-flopping Braun and Aguilar. He's had a lot of runners on today. Aguilar takes a ball, and it's 2-1 now.
Yeah, 2 for 2, couple of ribbies. Seemed like a pretty good move by the Brewers skipper.
Career year for Jesus Aguilar. And his ceiling just keeps getting higher. Nobody expected this kind of production in the big leagues. 2-1. Aguilar takes a strike. Good pitch right on the inside corner. Although unexpected to some degree, this is not a new experience for Jesus Aguilar with this kind of production. AAA with the Indians. He was a regular visitor in the 30-homer club. And Aguilar strikes out. That's a big out for Turnbull.
Yeah, that big 2-seam fastball running in on his hands. The guy's been impressive today. Fastball way in off the corner.
Strikeout number 7. And now 1 out for Mike Moustakas. At the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. A key 2-out RBI single in the first inning. Gave the Brewers a 2-0 lead, and now with the left-hander ready in the bullpen, Ron Gardenhire is going to play matchup. So a pitching change with 1 away. And Blaine Hardy, the lefty, is coming in to face Moustakas.
schedule. Go to MLB.com/postseason today.
Going to be a great ride. Looking forward to it. All starts on Tuesday with the wild card game. Tuesday and Wednesday will be the wild card games. NL first and then the AL Wednesday. New pitcher is Blaine Hardy, and he's got one job to face the left-hander Mike Moustakas.
And Moustakas singled off of him back on Friday. And threw an inning, struck out a batter, couple of hits. One of those hits, a Moustakas single.
Brewers are trying not to let a big opportunity go by. First and third, nobody out. Then Aguilar strikes out. And now Moustakas. Turnbull 5 1/3 tonight or today for the Tigers. 5 hits. At this point, he's allowed 3 runs, which are all earned. Had 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. 2 runners still his responsibility.
Yeah, he looked good today. I mean, good mixing of pitches, the curveball, the cutter, and the fastball. He's got good life on that fastball. Brewers would like to hang at least another run on him.
He's got a new career high in strikeouts, just getting his career started. It had been 5. Runner goes, and a swing and a miss by Moustakas. So Shaw steals second base. That is no small measure either. Keeps the Brewers out of a double play chance. That's number 4 for Travis Shaw in the stolen base category.
And now the Tigers going to bring the infield in. Got to put in play.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Moustakas takes it low. 2-2. Blaine Hardy. This will probably be a one and done for him. Baez ready in the bullpen, the right-hander. You got Manny Pena on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers have their infield in. Expecting Moustakas to pull on the ground. And he slashes one foul. Slow curveball that time, 77 miles an hour.
Yeah, we saw him a pretty good changeup on Friday night, but the changeup is a pitch he uses to right-handed batters.
Two and 2. Moustakas stays alive.
Yeah, do whatever you can to put the ball in play in this situation. Shorten up, just play pepper. Infield in, maybe dump one over the infield, driving a couple of runs.
Braun and Shaw on the bases. The 2-2 pitch. He fouls another one off. Got that one right off the end of the bat. Got a good battle going here. Moustakas facing a lefty.
He's given Moustakas everything he's got except for the changeup. Fastballs, curveball, slider. Moustakas hanging tough.
He's looking for one mistake. Outfield is deep. Braun runs well at third. 2-2 pitch. He is inside. Full count now to Moustakas. This will be pitch number 9. Manny Pena waiting to hit next. 3-2. Moustakas takes ball 4. There you go.
That was your changeup. Waited to the last opportunity to throw it. Moustakas didn't bite on it.
And the bases are loaded now with one away. Here comes Manny Pena. He is expecting the Tigers to make a change. Ron Gardenhire has not surfaced yet. He's going to let it ride. Another move you would probably not see if the Tigers are in a pennant race.
Yeah, I mean, well, he knows his team a lot better than we do.
Brewers have the matchup in their favor. Pena with the bases full. And he takes a fastball high.
This is where that changeup by Hardy comes into play against right-handers.
Well, just a fly ball medium deep at the least would be enough to score Braun. Tigers with a very deep outfield. Ball 2. Big spot for the Brewer catcher. A 3-0 lead and a chance to deliver a knockout punch. 2-1 the count. And Pena takes. It is ball 3. No swing. And now Pena's in the driver's seat. Got to come into him. Crowd on its feet. The 3-1. Pena takes a strike.
And Manny probably looked with something up out over the plate. Hardy got one down and in.
Does Hardy go back to his changeup? He tried it on a 3-2 pitch to Moustakas, but nowhere to put a runner now. The 3-2.
Yes, he did. Changeup.
Pena fouls it back. Full count, 1 away. Pena in the air, foul territory, slicing, and it is going to bounce. That actually probably would have scored a run if he caught it.
Yep, Ryan Braun tagging up, and you know the position that Goodrum was in. There's no way he would have been able to turn around and throw out Braun. Yeah, if he catches that baseball, Ryan Braun's going to score.
No error. 8th pitch of the at-bat. Full count, 1 out. Well, Mike Moustakas had a 9-pitch battle that resulted in a walk.
And just the idea of that changeup is making that, you know, upper 80s, low 90s fastball effective. That one right down the middle. But Manny thinking in the back of his mind, maybe changeup.
The 9th pitch to Pena. 3-2, swung on, hit deep to left. Back is Matuk. Plenty deep to score the run. Braun will tag. And it's 4-0 Milwaukee.
Just missed it. That's a nice at bat right there. Back to back. Really good at bats by the Brewers. Moustakas with the walk. Pena with a long at bat for the fly ball. That was a cutter. Got it down on the label just enough to keep it in the ballpark, but deep enough to score Braun. Our Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Sack fly by Manny.
RBI number 28 for Pena. Back-to-back 9-pitch at-bats, and the Brewers are on the board. Pitching change. The lefty is out. Gardenhire brings on the right-hander, and a 4-0 Brewer lead.
Contreras opening things up on the bottom of the 5th inning with a home run that hits just off the front wire of the basket and goes over. So the Cubs now extend their lead to 8-2 as we head to the top of the 6th at Wrigley Field. And if this all continues, get ready for 163 at Wrigley between the Brewers and Cubs tomorrow. Still plenty of baseball to go.
And get ready for 163 times 2 with the Rockies and the Dodgers. There is Sandy Baez on to pitch. The Brewers trying to do what Contreras just did and bust this one open. They do lead 4-0. 2 on, 2 outs, and Orlando Arcia at the plate for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Baez's last game was back on September 26th against the Twins in Minnesota. Gave up 4 unearned runs in an inning of work. Couple of hits, couple of walks, couple of strikeouts.
No balls and a strike. Arcia had his knees buckled, takes a ball. Shaw the runner at second, Moustakas at first. And look out, almost hit him.
Yeah, a couple of breaking balls. One pretty close. That one almost hit Arcia.
Two and 1. 2-2 to Arcia. That'll be a short drive down to Chicago if the Brewers get into the tiebreaker game. They win this one and the Cardinals don't come back. That makes it easier. Difference the National League has versus the American League. The American League wildcard game is not until Wednesday. That means you play back-to-back days, which affects bullpen. Shaw takes off, and he is going to be into third base with a steal. 2 steals this inning for Travis Shaw.
Ricky Henderson out there. Goodness.
That gives him 5 for the year. 2 of them coming in this inning. Almost draw a bad
Travis
throw.
feeling good. Nobody holding him on. He just says, all right, I'm going to take it. Almost threw it away to McCann.
Well, full count here to Arcia. Brewers will take as many as they can. The more runs, the more flexibility in the bullpen you have. And that matters. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout to end the inning, but the Brewers get 1. Manny Pena with a sacrifice fly. Travis Shaw with 2 steals in the inning. It's 4-0. No idea the way this is going to go, but here are the options. If the Brewers and Cubs end up in a tie, they'll play tomorrow at Wrigley. If the Brewers lose and Cubs win, the Brewers host a wild card game Tuesday. And of course, if the Brewers end up winning the Central Division either after the tiebreaker tomorrow or today, they will open the series at home on Thursday. A lot still in play. The Brewers have work to do to finish this off. 9 outs away from their 95th win of the season.
And it will be interesting to see how Craig Counsell gets those last 9 outs.
Junior Guerra, who was going to be pinch hit for it, looked like last inning. They did have Granderson in the on deck circle, but Guerra continues. Worked a scoreless 6th inning with 2 Ks. Matuk was at the plate when Goodrum was picked off. The Brewers know they got to keep the pedal down here.
Yeah,
they got a nice lead, 4-0.
A lot of, the winning scenario relievers that Craig Counsell does not want to use and may not use under any circumstances.
There's a swing and a foul tip in and out of the mid of Pena. No, I beg your pardon. He just dropped it. It's a strikeout, a clean strikeout. And Matuk is retired, and all 3 outs recorded at the plate for Guerra are strikeouts.
And this one, a high fastball to get him. And Manny just not able to hold on to it. No foul tip, and always important to get that leadoff hitter.
Well, he looks sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, throwing hard, off-speed stuff is for strikes.
James McCann with 1 away. Well, the Dodgers are running roughshod over the Giants, 14-0 in that game. There's a lot of talk about the Dodgers and who would start that game. Dodgers had a 7-run 3rd inning. Rich Hill got the start, and he is still on the mound. 7 shutout innings for Rich Hill. I guess they made the right call.
Yeah.
There's a base hit to right. Second hit off Guerra. McCann with a single.
Yeah, I guess if you're Dave Roberts and the Dodgers, you want to see Rich Hill go as long as he can. Everybody's bullpen needs some rest right now.
Yep. Yeah, that was the point I was making last inning with, because the National League wildcard game is predetermined, set on a Tuesday, then it doesn't allow for a day between the tiebreaker game and then the wild card. I remember in 2013 the Tampa Bay Rays went into a tiebreaker with the Texas Rangers. They had played a tiebreaker for entry into the postseason. Tampa Bay won that game. David Price went the distance through a complete game, and Tampa Bay then had Tuesday off, played the wild card game Wednesday, won that game, and then went into the division series against Boston. But it makes a huge difference to have a day off between a tiebreaker day and the wild card game. In the National League this year, they will not have that option,
which is going to make it interesting to see how Craig Counsell gets to the finish line here.
1 ball, 1 strike. Dawel Lugo at the plate. Guerra looking for a ground ball to get out of this. Gets a ground ball. Arcia to second, out there. Only out they'll get.
Yep, take your time. Just make sure a 1 with a 4-run lead. Good job by Arcia just to make sure he makes a good throw to second base. Would not have one hit hard enough to turn double play.
2 outs in the inning.
See, Colorado doing the same thing. Tyler Anderson, their starting pitcher, is going 7 innings.
Yep, starters are giving.
They got a big lead.
Plenty of length. Got a left-hander announced as a pinch hitter, Jim Adducci, son of a former Brewer by the same name. And so Derek Johnson appears on the mound. A quick scouting report for Junior Guerra as Adducci hits for Pete Kozma. One of the things about tomorrow, if it does end up in a tiebreaker scenario, you're going to see a game managed based on the first 3 or 4 innings. Team gets out to a big lead, because you know if you're on the losing end of that, or you're down big early, you would be more inclined to shut down preparing for the next day, the wild card game. So we always talk about those early scoring opportunities. It will be of utmost importance if you're in a tiebreaker game tomorrow. Not that the early runs aren't important always, but especially tomorrow when you're trying to determine how much you're going to go to it. Now, because there would be a game Monday and Tuesday, you know you're going to get Wednesday off before you start a division series, even if you win. So this is the important day for Craig Counsell and his bullpen. That's why we're spending so much time talking about it.
Yeah,
because it matters a great deal.
And big boy's been throwing a lot too.
Ground ball. Aguilar's got it, and Guerra covers, and he holds serve. Junior Guerra keeps it going. 2 scoreless innings. Time now for Miller Park's presentation of God Bless America. Enjoy, everyone, on this final day of the season.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the lights from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Head to the bottom of the 7th now. Got a great crowd on hand. It'll be pushing a sellout once again. Had the 8th largest crowd in Miller Park history yesterday. 45,500 in the ballpark yesterday. And that'll be a lot like the scene here in the postseason. A reminder, tickets are going fast. They're standing room only for the postseason, but you still can acquire tickets, obtain tickets if you put a deposit down on a 2019 season ticket plan. We want you to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be a lot of home games, meaning there's a lot of games played in the postseason this time around.
And next year is going to be pretty good too.
No doubt. Junior Guerra will bat, so Counsell trying to get some innings out of him. Did he hit him? Guerra had to pull the chute on that one, and I think he avoided a hit by pitch. And I'm sure somebody in there said, stand in there and take it like a man, Junior.
Yeah, right. Easy to say. Surprised that didn't get a piece of the jersey.
Yeah, it looked like it was close, huh?
Look how far off the plate he is now. he's over there in the third base coaching box.
He's letting Baez know this is a strikeout if you want it. I'm going to stand way back here, and you just handle your business. Might as well be using a plastic bat at this point.
See if he can draw a walk here. This guy could be wild.
Now he steps in there a little bit, building more confidence. A former professional catcher, Junior Guerra. Oh, look at this. A base hit with that plastic bat. Yeah. Played a little possum with him, and a base knock for the Brewer pitcher.
And right back at Baez. Take that. Had to duck out of the way. And how about that? Junior Guerra with a bullet back through the middle. Throw one in on me, will you?
Sends it right back. Touche.
Look out. I love it.
Junior Guerra with a base hit. That left the bat at 102 miles an hour. It was a legitimate swing. Here's Lorenzo Cain.
Good thing he moved up a little bit.
He did creep up right at the last minute.
Where he was before, he would have never reached that.
I wonder if he's part of the starting pitcher pool for hits. Once a starter, always a starter, right?
I was going to say, yeah. Long relievers, every now and again they'll be able to take batting practice. That's in the cage.
There was a great scene in the celebration in the clubhouse in St. Louis Wednesday. After things had died down a little bit, all of the starting pitchers gathered around with pitching coach Derek Johnson, and they were going to take a photograph. They all had their hats on, the postseason hats, the cigars, you know, all the trimmings of a post-game celebration. And there were a few relievers that were in there, and somebody yelled out, "Hey, you've been stealing our wins all year. Get out of the picture." Lorenzo Cain deep into left center field, way back. And Jones leaps, can't get it. Junior Guerra on his way to third. Cain will ease into second with a double. Almost hit one out.
Well, the Brewers looking for an uppercut right here to the Tigers. Right down the middle, and Lorenzo with that back leg hack able to almost knock it out of here off the wall in center. I think if Jones had to do it over again, he would have taken one more step. He wasn't as close to the wall as he thought.
Christian Yelich will be intentionally walked. Get used to that, Brewers fans.
Yeah. That's about as easy a decision as Ron Gardner has had to make all year.
2 walks today for Yelich. And Ryan Braun will step in with the bases loaded. Nobody out. Starts with a Junior Guerra single on a 2-strike pitch. Ryan Braun with the 2 home runs on Friday night. Entered into the 20-homer club for the 9th time in his 12-year career. Now Gardenhire will make a pitching change. So Baez is out. Back to the bullpen goes Gardenhire. And coming in for Detroit, Zach Reininger will set him up after this. Another pitching change for the Tigers, with the Brewers threatening again in the 7th. But bases loaded with nobody out, and the heart of the order coming up. A walk to Christian Yelich, an intentional walk to get to Ryan Braun, and then a pitching change for Ron Gardenhire, bringing on Zach Reininger to face Braun.
Yeah, we saw Reininger Friday here at Miller Park. A third of an inning, got an out, and that was it for him. 18th appearance, in run average at 6.5, 18 punch out, 20 innings, and in a very small sample size, he's given up 5 homers.
Now that intentional walk to Yelich all but eliminates the possibility of a triple crown for Yelich. Needing 2 RBIs, still might have one more at bat. We'll see. Braun with the bases loaded in the dirt. Nice block by McCann. If the Brewers keep hitting and keep sending batters to the plate, it's possible Yelich could hit in the 8th. Don't forget, tomorrow, if it ends up in a tiebreaker game, counts in the regular season stats. So there is that possibility as well. Game 163 using expanded rosters. One ball, one strike.
The Tigers have the infield in. They feel as though they can't fall behind anymore. Opening up some big holes in the infield for Braun.
Rocket in here. 1-1. Strike. And a fastball snuck it by him. Braun was looking for something else.
And he was looking for that curveball he just swung at.
Reininger, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Braun rips one left center, down to the wall. In the score is Guerra. Right behind him is Kane. It's a 2 RBI double for Ryan Braun. 6-0 Milwaukee.
Well, he hung that one. Breaking pitch on an 0-2 count. And blitzes one into the gap. Thank you very much on a 0-2 count. And Ryan Braun, look at the head down. Hits a bullet. Couple of runs in. And that could do it.
What a finish to the year. Braun looks into that Brewers dugout. He is red hot at the right time. Ryan Braun.
Still nobody out.
63 RBIs for Braun. That's his second hit, third time on base. Second and third, nobody out. Here is Travis Shaw. Such a big hit. 6-0 lead opens up a lot of opportunities for Counsell. Namely, it allows him to just let it ride with Guerra as long as he's pitching effectively.
And Craig Counsell couldn't ask for a better scenario. No. Big lead. Don't have to use your big guns out of the bullpen as of yet. It's not over yet. But at least you don't have to go to him in the 8th inning. I think Junior Garrett thinking I might be able to finish this one.
He'll take a 4-inning save. 1 ball, 1 strike on Shaw. 1-2 now. Gardenhire goes to his pin as Reiniger faced Braun. Got him to 2 strikes and then made a mistake, and Braun made him pay. Still nobody out. The 1-2 to Shaw, rolls one, and nice play at second base by Lugo, gets the out.
It looked like that ball might have been by him.
Yeah.
Able to snare it and get the out.
Took a hit and an RBI away from Travis Shaw, maybe 2 RBIs.
You see Christian Yelich, they're going to make sure that ball went through before he takes off. I mean, I think the last thing the Brewers want is to have a play at the plate with Yelich at this point, so make it go through with a 6-0 lead.
Jesus Aguilar. 2 hits here today, including a home run back in the 4th. And Aguilar rips one foul.
That one ended up in the buffet up there.
Not expecting a foul ball up there today, but courtesy of Jesus Aguilar,
hey,
right in the chicken noodle soup.
You know what? Put a little salt and pepper on it. A little ketchup.
A poached egg with laces. Infield end. And a little rollover, gloved, coming home, and Yelich is in. Throw gets away. Here comes Braun, and he will score. 2 more runs are in. It is 8-0 Milwaukee. Another RBI for Aguilar, his 3rd of the day.
Yep, fielder's choice RBI. Another run scores on the error. How about Ryan Braun? Last couple of weeks. What a jump. Little jump Yelich got. That time the contact play was on. He able to score, and another bad throw. Ryan Braun never slowed down around 3rd base.
And the Brewers have busted it open here in the 7th. 4 runs are in. 8 runs on 8 hits. Aguilar's driven in 3 of those. And now Moustakas takes a strike. You mentioned Ryan Braun and his run now. The 2 RBI double, including his day today with 2 hits and a walk. Braun in his last 8 games has 11 runs batted in and 5 home runs in his last 8 games.
He's hit a lot of big home runs this last couple of weeks, but Yeah, that double right there, that might have been the clincher. And then for this one,
gives him 63 runs batted in. 10 hits in 8 games, 5 homers, 11 ribbies. In the air, deep left center field. Jones has room for this one. And Moustakas flies out for out number 2. What a finishing kick to the regular season the Brewers have posted this year. There have been some September collapses in recent memory. Not this time around. Qualifying for the 5th postseason in franchise history, the first since 2011, and they're hungry for more.
And I think this nice run that the Brewers are on, you can thank Craig Counsell, the fact that he was able to rest a lot of his everyday guys, giving them time off throughout the season, particularly in the month of September after the rosters expanded.
He took some criticism for that as well, and he understood that was coming. Why isn't a Ryan Braun playing on a particular day? Why would you sit Christian Yelich on a particular day? Lorenzo Cain had a few days off, tweaked his intercostal. He knows his roster better than anybody and knows when those days off are necessary, not even just for health reasons, but to make sure you get at bats for the others. And to build that bench and to have regular at bats for those who are going to make up that bench.
And the team off days coupled with giving a guy a day off, he ends up getting 2 days off. Makes a big difference, really does, and it's proved very valuable.
Manny Pena drove in the 4th run of the game on a sac fly last time up. One and two the count on Pena with 2 away. You think about this run the Brewers are on right now. Winning 11 of their last 12 series of the season. Series wins in 11 of 12. The only series they did not win was that mid-September stretch against the Pirates, losing 2 out of 3.
Yeah, they've lost 1 series since mid-August.
The Brewers were 3 games back of the Cubs when this run began of series victories. It started in a 3-game series against the Cincinnati Reds. The Brewers had just lost 2 out of 3 in St. Louis, but they won the final game against the Cardinals to get within 3 of the Cubs on August 20th. And then they won 7 consecutive series, lost 1, and now have won the last 3, and they're going after, or last 4 I should say, and now the potential of a sweep. Fly ball left field. This got a chance, and it's down. Base hit. Aguilar to third. Manny Pena to second. It's a double. And the hits keep coming for Milwaukee.
Well, got a breaking ball, stayed back long enough, dumped it down the line, got it off the end of the bat. And left that one a little middle in, down in the strike zone, but Manny able to get enough of it. Nice easy swing. And dumps one down the left field line, so the fire's still burning hot here in the 7th.
Arcia now with 2 away. The 9th batter of the inning. 4 runs are in for the Brewers as they bat around here in the 7th. Until the win yesterday, which put the Brewers back in a first-place tie, they have not had a share or been in first place since July 12th, which was game 94 of the season. Span of 67 games until the win yesterday, coupled with the Cubs loss. 2.5 months looking up at the Cubs. There's a shot center field. Arcia is going to bring in 2 more. Aguilar and Pena score. It is 10-0 Milwaukee.
Well, Brewers bat around in the 7th. And the guy that got it off started is going to get pinch hit for it. He has Craig Counsell figuring this is a long inning. Junior Garabin sitting there, and that gets somebody else in there.
Ron Gardenhire is going to make a move. Double switch. All smiles. Guerra is out. He started all of this with a base hit single on a 2-strike pitch. 6 runs are in the 7th inning.
The 2019 Friday night game in the Miller Lite beer pen. And it's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Well, the Brewers enjoying a 10-0 lead and will coast to the finish line. Harold Castro will take over at the shortstop position. A 6-run inning to make it 10-0.
Those add-on runs so important. The Brewers have been doing a real good job of that lately.
Nico Goodrum will end up at first base. Matt Hall will be the next Tiger pitcher. Well, now the next 6 outs can't come fast enough for the Brewers, as you're just trying to get through this one injury-free. Curtis Granderson will get a pinch hit appearance. Not only does Counsell have a chance to get into the deep bullpen now, but also rest some position players.
Yeah, you'd probably like to see Kane and Yelich get some rest, get them off their feet, make sure they stay healthy. That's exactly what they're talking about right now. The only thing is, I think Craig Counsell like to keep Yelich in the game to see if we can get a couple of more RBIs.
Yeah, well, he's due up third right now. There are 2 outs.
But I mean, keep him in for the 8th, maybe.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Of course, you weigh that with, what happens if until he gets hurt, right?
Granderson takes a ball. 3-1 the count. This Brewers ball club with 6 more defensive outs to 95 wins for the year. 95. Fly ball, shallow center. They play deep. That's going to fall. RC on his way to third, and Granderson is aboard with a hit.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of those in the series. I mean, pop-ups in the short outfield that should be caught normally, but they play so deep. Not able to get there. And a base hit for Curtis. And they got in on his hands right there with a fastball. And look at Jones out in center field. He's playing way back and not able to get there. Didn't really get a good jump either.
This has turned into blowout Sunday today for all the teams that are fighting it out for division titles. Big leads across the board. Dodgers have finished off the Giants. Here's Tyler Saladino pinch hitting. Dodgers beat the Giants 15-0.
Rockies up 11-0. Closest game is a Cub game.
Now they've just added to their lead 10-4 now in the bottom of the 6th. They have the bases loaded as well. And here in Milwaukee, it's 10-0. And a doubleheader tiebreaker Monday is imminent. Pop up into foul territory. Goodrum can't get there. Fans are entertaining themselves now with a wave. Jordan Lyles is loosening in the Brewers bullpen. One and 2 the count. Saladino is retired and the inning is over. What an inning it was. A knockout punch. Ryan Braun delivered the big hit with 2 strikes, 2 RBI double. Then Arcia adds to it. 2 ribbies with that single. A 6-run inning for the Brew Crew. They lead it.
And Jerry Augustine getting set for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game, and lots to talk about with potentially 2 Game 163s tomorrow. Those 4 teams all involved, including Milwaukee, all scoring 10 runs or more. What's that a sign of for tomorrow?
A lot of offense, a lot of offense. But you look at today's game, and Craig Counsell in his pregame presser said, you got to find a way to get 27 outs. How about the 6 outs by Junior Guerra? 6 big outs, and coming up with that leadoff single to start the big 6-run 7th inning.
All right, coming up after the ball game, we'll set the stage, see where all of this action unfolds. If we've got a big Monday coming up in which we're anticipating, we'll also hear from Craig Counsell and go over Gio Gonzalez's gem to start this one. 5 strong innings of shutout baseball to really set the pace for this offense that came on late and strong here, padding a big lead, B.A.
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. Thanks for all the great work all year long on the Brewers live set. And we are in the 8th, 10-0 Brewers. A lot of changes defensively, and as expected, Jordan Lyles on the mound. Might see him try to pick up the last 2 innings.
Man, it's been a week for Jordan. He's throwing the baseball well. 7 straight scoreless appearances out of the Brewers bullpen. Covers 8 1/3 innings, only allowed 2 hits. 10 punch-outs in that stretch. 2 scoreless innings against the Pirates.
And a line drive back up the middle, base hit. That's Keon Broxton playing center field now. Curtis Granderson is in the game as well. He stays in after his pinch hit single to play right field.
And as predicted, Christian Yelich stays in the game.
Yeah, that's noteworthy because Yelich is due up second in the 8th inning with an RBI total that is 2 behind Baez. Jamer Candelario with a runner at first. A lot of big news around Major League Baseball that is coming down as these games end on everybody playing at the same time today. I think the biggest news at this point is the fact that Mike Scioscia has announced that he will step down after 19 years as the Angels manager, the longest tenured manager in the American League and in baseball, and he's stepping down at that World Series title 2002.
Yeah, good man, good baseball man, great player, good catcher rather. Nobody blocked home plate better than Mike Scioscia. It's one thing you remember about Mike, you know, his ability to keep runners from touching home plate. Imagine these new rules that have given him issues.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia, great career. There was rumors that Eric Chavez would be a front runner for that job with the Angels, the former Oakland A and Yankee. He's been managing their AAA ball club. There will be some turnover in the manager ranks. John Gibbons of the Blue Jays announcing he will not return next season. They'll have a job opening and a job search in Cincinnati. Jim Riggleman managed on an interim basis. Texas Rangers dismissed Jeff Bannister last week with just a handful of games to play. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Lyles.
Yeah, good breaking ball. Jordan's done good work out of that Brewers bullpen. He really has. He throws strikes, doesn't walk many.
Blowout Sunday for those contending for division titles. Rockies up 12-0 now in the bottom of the 8th inning. They have news out of Colorado as well. Nolan Arenado has homered and Charlie Blackmon hit for the cycle. Arenado hit his 37th. He's hit 2 today. He's got 37 homers. So the potential route to a triple crown for Yelich is to hit a 2-run home run.
That will be interesting to do that next inning since he leads off.
Still have tomorrow though, right?
Yeah. Arenado's going to play too.
Yeah, he is.
MLB At Bat is your #1 app to follow the crew this postseason. With At Bat, you get breaking news, live radio broadcast, the MLB
TV game of the day and lineup updates and right to your fingertips.
So Yelich was left out so he could have a moment. Hernan Perez will come in, and Yelich will get to exit in front of 45,000 and a standing ovation. Yeah, nice moment for Yelich, and a good thought by Craig Counsell. See that often in basketball at the end of a season or a career. In a baseball game, to make a move like that.
Brewers fans are going to see him again, though.
Puts a stamp on a phenomenal regular season on the home schedule for Christian Yelich. I'm sure he is uncomfortable with all of it.
Well, just like Robin Down said he was when he was going through it.
Drive into right center field. That's going to get down and to the wall. Castellanos with a double. Castellanos was imploring Castro to turn and head home. He's sitting on 89 RBIs. He's like, keep running, man.
That's when you want to see Castellanos drive the ball, is when, you know, the Brewers have a 10-0 lead. He had an opportunity back in the third inning driving a run. That guy's got a tremendous opposite field stroke, doesn't he? You know, in pitches that a lot of guys are going to try and pull.
Two outs for Nico Goodrum. Lyles trying to keep the shutout intact. Nice moment for Christian Yelich. First year as a Brewer. Couldn't ask for more.
They got a few more years to see Christian run around that outfield for the Brewers. At least.
Oh, and 2 the count. And he got him. Shutout stays intact. Jordan Lyles with 3 strikeouts in the 8th inning. Christian Yelich, a tip of the cap and a standing ovation in an MVP season.
the bottom of the 8th, the Cubs currently have a 10-4 lead over the Cardinals in the 7th there at Wrigley Field. So looking ahead to game 163, if there is a tiebreaker game played, you have the opportunity to bring your support to Wrigley Field. The tickets will go on sale tonight at 7:30 p.m. You can buy them at cubs.com/tickets. You'll certainly want to act quickly, but tickets are available there. So again, you have at 7:30 tonight, cubs.com/tickets. And reminder, you can take the Amtrak train and still get there before noon.
That's what I'm talking about, Sophia. That Hiawatha line. If you play nice, they might let you toot the horn.
Mm-hmm. You got to be real nice to do that.
Yes, sir. Fill it up. Make your presence felt at Wrigley Field tomorrow, folks. Hernan Perez, first at bat. This could not have gone better for the Brewers. Obviously, a win by the Cardinals today would have secured a division. But as far as the personnel that Counsell's had to use, has been able to get a number of his hitters in there to get some at-bats. Expanded rosters tomorrow. The game's going to be played at noon. It'll be televised on ESPN. It's going to be a game 163, and we're going to do it twice tomorrow. Dodgers and Rockies will play after the Brewers and the Cubs to determine the winner of the National League West. The winner of that series or that game will host the NLDS against the Braves. The loser will play the loser of the tiebreaker between the Brewers and the Cubs tomorrow. Epic baseball right now.
Yeah.
This is going to be so much fun.
You know what? We're going to have pregame and postgame action too. We're going to cover the game beforehand. Pregame on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Postgame show.
I love it. Good work by the executives pulling that together on short notice. That's great.
I'm going to be on that bus. Sophia, Brett Breland, our producer.
Outstanding. Perez grounds out.
It will be our 5th trip to Chicago.
This is the trip that you're A-OK with, right? I mean, what a story to be able to come back and catch the Chicago Cubs with a flurry of a finish. Cubs didn't give it away. I mean, they had the division in hand, but the Brewers just kept winning, kept the pressure on Chicago.
Most wins in the National League the month of September.
A win today, 19-7 in September. And it's fitting that as the calendar turns to October tomorrow, it'll be a tiebreaker regular season game to determine a division title. Brewers have won one National League division title. That was a 96-win season in 2011. A win tomorrow would be their 96th win and would secure a division title.
Although the Brewers did not start out very well this year playing the Chicago Cubs, lately they've been doing a pretty good job.
Won 4 of the last 6 against the Cubs. First at bat for Broxton. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. 2 outs in the inning. Travis Shaw with 2 away. Brewers knew they were returning to Miller Park needing a sweep. Sweeping the Cardinals in St. Louis. Needing a sweep against the Tigers to have a chance. And they're going to do just that.
Yeah.
Win today, the Brewers will have won 7 straight. 9 of 10.
Just got to keep winning series. That's what we've been saying throughout the whole month of September. You don't need the long winning streaks. Just continue to win series, which they've been able to do.
The Brewers were 5 back of the Cubs as late as September 2nd. But they made it a race with a series win against the Cubs, back-to-back series win against the Cubs, one of them here at Miller Park. They opened up that series at Miller Park on Labor Day, 5 back. Took 2 out of 3. And then took 2 out of 3 at Wrigley with a victory September 12th to get 1 back. Cubs were able to push it back to a 3.5 game lead after the Brewers lost in Cincinnati September 18th, and it's just been a steady chip away since until they finally caught them yesterday, courtesy of a Cardinal win and a Brewer victory over the Tigers.
And just continue to keep the pressure on and winning games, and bullpen has been lights out. Brewers offense coming to life, playing their best baseball at the right time.
I have asked Craig Counsell 15 times the last 3 days who his tiebreaker pitcher would be.
No chance?
No chance. He says, I don't know.
What if you ask him now?
I think he's got an idea.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he'll release it. It's possible the Brewers could go into a bullpen game. They could certainly go to a bullpen game because everybody will be lined up tomorrow. Travis Shaw deep to right. That's going to fly out of here. An exclamation point. A career high for home runs for Travis Shaw. That's number 32.
Yep, against a left-handed pitcher. We'd love to see that.
Makes it 11-0. 31 homers a year ago, getting a chance to play every day. He has backed it up with a 32-homer season in 2018.
Well, you talk about a well spread out offense today. Everybody contributing.
By the way, note the gauntlet there. Some game faces on. Getting ready for tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like the look of that.
These guys have handled success as well as they've handled adversity all season long. I mean, they really don't think too much about wins after it happens. Don't think too much about losses after they occur. They've been steady as she goes all season.
Roller to short, and that will retire the side, and we are headed for the 9th. 45,000 here at Miller Park, ready to send the Brewers to Wrigley Field with a chance at a division tomorrow. Up in '82, that famous team, 2008 with CC Sabathia, the wild card, division champs in 11. What will we have in 2018? Those are the 5 postseason teams in Brewers franchise history. And 3 outs away from win number 95 as Jordan Lyles tries to finish it off. Trying to make this a 3-pitcher game. Gonzalez, who went 5 shutout, Junior Guerra with 2 shutout, and Jordan Lyles to pitch the final 2, which would set the Brewers up beautifully. A noon game tomorrow at Wrigley Field. Tickets are going fast. They are hot at Wrigley. Make your presence felt, Brewers fans. Easy little ride on what is going to be an epic Monday of baseball. All 4 teams competing tomorrow know they are going into the postseason, but there is a major difference in a wild card play-in game versus winning the division and being guaranteed a 5-game series.
Hey, weather's supposed to be decent in Chicago tomorrow. No rain.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Mikey Matuk, and that's upstairs. By the way, before we wrap it up here, I want to give kudos to our terrific crew here in Milwaukee, our television crew. They bring you the sights and sounds each and every game. This will be the end of the line for us. As Rock mentioned, there will be pre and post game on Fox Sports Wisconsin tomorrow, and then throughout the playoffs as Lyles picks up the strikeout. Great camera operators like the Cowboy out there, and Woody and Will, Dan, Andy, Trent, Rizzo, Dwayne, Rick, Tom, Jesse, and Nick. You all know who you are. There's Woody manning that first base dugout camera. Our main producers, Brent Reeland and Dan Keener. Today's game being produced by Brent. Our main directors, Renardo Lowe, Phil Malika, and Adam Bryant III. Adam at the controls today, and the great job they do leading this phenomenal crew of artists. Our utilities, Dan and Phil, and video, Dave Larson, one of the best in the business. Our great TDs, technical directors, Lindsay and Mario. One of the best tape rooms in all of TV sports. Lisa, Timmy, Maggie, and Doc. Our truck engineers, Travis and Scott. We got Brendan, Linda, Brian Mikologic, B-Mick, and Dave Trout in graphics. Jason and BJ on the Fox box. Our stats man here in the booth, Mike Faulkner, as good as it gets. And the original entry into the Stage Manager Hall of Fame, Renee Hoffman. She's the one and the only. It's a Hall of Fame of one.
Yep. Yeah, we are fortunate to have the crew that we have had for many, many years.
There she is. Stage Manager Hall of Fame -1.
Yep, 22 years in the booth. That's a while. Doesn't look it.
The great audio we've had all year. I hear a lot of comments after games about how the games sound and the electric vibe here at Miller Park. And our audio technicians, about as good as it gets. Crystal and Paul Kelly, Al Williams, who's mixing this broadcast today, and one of the great ones out there, Eric West. And we all come together to bring you Brewers baseball each and every year. We have so many technicians here that have been with the Brewers for decades. Swing and a miss, a strikeout for Lyles.
Yep, another good job by you, partner. Been a lot of fun, and I want to thank Craig Deshawn filling in for you, Matt LePay.
Yep.
Matty did a great job as well.
Dan Plesac popped in for a couple of series, did a terrific job. Craig and Augie standing by for Brewers Live. Well done, gents. And we don't get to the end of any broadcast without thinking about Dave Nelson. Our late colleague and friend. Boy, how he would enjoy this. This is going to do it, folks. The home schedule and the regular season is over. That is win number 95. An 11-0 victory for the Brew Crew. They will head to Chicago with a chance to win the National League Central with a victory over the Cubs tomorrow afternoon. A rock, 12 years together, partner. It's the end of the line for us.
Good job, pal.
It's always a blast.
Good luck in the postseason.
I appreciate that. We're going to have some fun, aren't we?
Yeah. It's going to be fun, and you know what? It's not going to stop this year either. This is a team set up for a good run for a while now. Come and join us.
Been one of the funnest years we've ever had with the Milwaukee Brewers. Great crowds all year long. Over 2.8 million come through the turnstiles. There's going to be more baseball to be played here at Miller Park. The hometown kid, the manager, Craig Counsell, taking his first team to the postseason as a manager. Next time the Brewers step on this field in this venue, it'll be in the postseason. Send it down to the field. Sophia Minard, our terrific sideline reporter, standing by. Take it away, Sophia.
Thanks, BA. Well, Jesus, you guys started the month of September 5 games back of the Chicago Cubs. A big win here today to catch them and force game 163. How determined were you guys to win this game?
We just try to come here and try to do it in the right way. We want one more game to win, so we got to go there and try to win the game and celebrate.
What about the big at-bats early and how you guys were able to jump out to this early lead and then tack on those extra runs?
I just try to be aggressive in the strike zone and the hopping. Gio can do his job too. I think we're good for tomorrow.
How excited are you to get to Wrigley Field and match up with the Cubs for one more game?
They know they got problem tomorrow.
Manny, you added on some runs as well, but I want to ask you about your pitching staff. Let's start with Gio Gonzalez. 5 shutout innings for him. What did Gio have going, delivering in the biggest game of the season?
He doing very good job to stay focused in the zone, throw the ball both sides of the plate. His changeup was working very good, and that's when he commanded the fastball that he got a good success.
And the bullpen has had to cover so many innings, but the job that Junior Guerra and Jordan Lyles did to take it the rest of the way and preserve the shutout.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job. They're doing a very good job. And I just want to say to all the fans, thank you. We don't done yet. We don't done yet. So tomorrow is a big game. So I want everybody with big support to us.
And with that, PA and Rock, we'll go back up to you.
All right, Sophia, thanks. 2 guys you got to love, Manny Pena and Jesus Aguilar. And that's a good way to put a period on this one. But we've got a lot more coming for you on Brewers Live. And Craig Kashawn, I think Jesus Aguilar has just given us our headline. The Cubs will have problems tomorrow.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Getting ready for a Miller Park South adventure. How about that? We'll talk about game 163. This Brewer victory in 162. What the month of September has meant. More post-game reaction on the way next on Brewers Live.